ಕರಿಮರದ ಪಟ್ಟಿ ಬೆಳಗು ಮುದ್ದು ರತ್ನ ಸಿರಿಯ ಮೆರುಗು ಬಂಗಾರ ಬೊಂಬೆ ಬೆಳಗು ಎಂದೆಂದು ಬೆಳಗು ಬೆಳಗು ಕರಿಮರದ ಪಟ್ಟಿ ಬೆಳಗು ಮುದ್ದು ರತ್ನ ಸಿರಿಯ ಮೆರುಗು ಬಂಗಾರ ಬೊಂಬೆ ಬೆಳಗು ಎಂದೆಂದು ಬೆಳಗು ಬೆಳಗು ಮುದ್ದು ರತ್ನ ಖಚಿತ ಮಿನುಗುವಂತ ಅರಮನೆಯ ಸಿಂಹಾಸನ ಜನಮನದ ಆಸೆ ವೈಭವದ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಲಾಂಛನದ ಸಿರಿಯ ವರಸೆ ಲಾಂಛನದ ಸಿರಿಯ ವರಸೆ.
On the 23rd of March 1610, Raja Wadiyar shifted his capital from Mysuru to my Srirangapatana.
My trusted minister, it is
Curse on Talakadu, curse on Malangi, curse on the Mysuru rulers, the curse of Alamelamma. I have lost count of the many that have plunged into me, but Alamelamma I can never forget, nor could the Mysuru Wadiyars.
The Wadiyars brought to Mysuru a great confluence of erudition, valor, literature, music, and the fine arts. Their enduring ideal was the old Vijayanagara Empire. The lights that danced and glowed on the banks of the river Tungabhadra did shine on the banks of the Kaveri too.
Kanthirava Narasaraja Wadiyar was known for his physical prowess. The world knew him as Ranadhira, for he was without equal in the art of wrestling.
A great giant of a wrestler. Never has he known defeat. His underwear hangs at his town's gate. If there be a challenger who dares, he may fling the underwear aside and wrestle with him.
The town crier's message singed the sinews of Ranadhira, made them taut. He arrived in disguise at the town gate of Tiruchirappalli and pulled down the offending garment. The challenge taken, the match ensued. Eventually, Ranadhira drew his sword, Vijaya Narasimha, its sting deadlier than that of a wasp, and struck. Wonder of wonders, the stricken Jati stood rooted to the spot. The spectators gaped. Smiling, Ranadhira nudged gently the Jati's head. Separating clean from the body, it fell to the ground. The crowd marveled at this sleight of hand swordsmanship. Kanthirava Narasaraja Wadiyar defeated Ranadullah Khan of Bijapur, the chieftain of Madurai, and Kempe Gowda of Madurai. He extended the kingdom. He launched his own mint and brought into currency a coin by the name Kanthirayapala. He came to be called the model king in the annals of Mysuru history. Succeeding Kanthirava Narasaraja to power came Dodda Devaraja Wadiyar. He built the 1,000 steps up the Chamundi hill. Along the path, he installed the exquisite statue of Nandi, the bull. Chitta Devaraja Wadiyar, who came later, heralded the arrival of the golden age of Mysuru.
Sriman Mahishura Ratna Simhasanadhishvara Virutantembara Raja Jagadeva Navakoti Narayana Akra ಅಂತಿಮ ವೀರ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಚಕ್ರವರ್ತಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕದೇವರಾಜ ಬಹುಪರ ಬಹುಪರ ಬಹುಪರ.
Chikkadevaraja was a hero. He overcame the chieftain of Madurai and the king of Tiruchinappalli. He defeated the Marathas. He enjoyed the friendship of Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperor of Delhi, who bestowed upon him the title Raja Jagadeva, Maharaja Chikkadevaraja Muhammad Shahi. His significant achievement was administrative reform. He set up the Athara Kacheri, the 18 departments of administration. He introduced the postal system and regulated markets. He constructed the Chikkadevaraya and Devaraya canals and also established mints. He was the patron of Singararya, who authored the first Kannada play, Mitravinda Govinda. He was also the patron of writers like Tirumalarya, Chikkopadhyaya, Timmarasa, Mallikarjuna, Shringaramma and Sanchi Honnamma. In his work, Apratima Veera Charite, the annals of the incomparable hero, Tirumalarya describes Chikkadevaraja in these terms.
Shrimantam Yadushaila Vallabha Padambhoja Bhrindam Shrimantam Yadushaila Vallabha Padambhoja Bhrindam गुणारामं पश्चिमरङ्गधामनगरा ई सिंहासनाधीशन् बुद्धाम श्रीयदुवंशकल्पतरुप्रौढप्रवाणम् जगत्प्रेमं वित्तु नेगल्गे बाल्गे चिकदेवेन्द्र महीचन्द्रमम्
Sanchi Honnamma was a maid in Chikkadevaraja's palace. The proximity of the court poets evoked her own poetic inspiration. She wrote a poem titled Hadibadaya Dharma. One day, Chikkadevaraja was eager to listen to her poem.
Honnamma, I hear that between your duties, you write poetry. May we not enjoy the grace of your lyric?
O sire, my lyric is but immature. Your court is endowed with stalwart poets of unmatched caliber. I am but a flickering candle before their poetic brilliance.
But Tirumalarya himself has praised your poem in my very presence. Come, do present us a selection of your lyric.
I am blessed, my lord, to have the praise of a poet like Tirumalarya and the audience of a king such as your majesty. I am truly blessed.
ಪೆಣ್ಣು ಪೆತ್ತವಳ ಬಳಗ ಬೆಳೆವುದು ಬೇಗ ಪೆಣ್ಣ ಪೆತ್ತವರು ಪೆರ್ಚುವರು ಪೆಣ್ಣು ಪೆತ್ತುದರಿಮದೆ ಪೆಸರೆನಿಸಿ ತುಮಿಗೆ ಬಣ್ಣವೇರಿದು ಪಾಲ್ಗಡಲು.
Wise like woman, woman it is who bears. Weren't all born by one, protected and nurtured by one? Why yet be fools to condemn woman?
ಪೆರರು ಪೆಣ್ಣಲ್ಲವೇ ತಮ್ಮನೆಲ್ಲ ಪಡೆದ ತಾಯಿ ಪೆಣ್ಣಲ್ಲವೇ ಓರೆದವಳು ಪೆಣ್ಣು ಪೆಣ್ಣೆಂದೇತಕ್ಕೆ ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಾಣದ ಗಾವಿಲರು.
The warrior himself was a poet, a scholar, and an accomplished player of the veena. His own favorite was a veena named Kalavati. He delighted in the very touch of it. When he placed it on his lap, gently, and plucked the strings with skilled fingers, the universe was filled with sounds celestial. The melodies from the instrument resonated sweetly across my tiny island.
Mother, you pause. Pray continue.
You are eager to know the past, yet I must pause, for what comes next is not pleasant.
Is it for me to tell you, Mother, of the ebb and tide of history? When was it that history was not uneven? Do go on, Mother.
It was the middle of the 18th century. The Mughals were in decline all over India. The Marathas were growing strong. The British were on the rise. Kings everywhere were reduced to mere dummies. Power went into the hands of strong military heads. Mysuru was not an exception to the times. Army chiefs Nanjarajaya and Devarajaya ruled in wanton abandon. Krishnaraja Vadiyar II protested against their atrocities. He decided to talk to his subjects directly, to learn of their problems and needs. Karachuri Nanjarajaya did not like this idea.
Your Highness, your delicate little body will not withstand the rigors of heat and dust. We have taken much care, beyond your own, to nurture your gentle self without exposing it to undue hardship, to keep your royal person in robust health. Your royal self and the Mysore kingdom are like our own two eyes. It is by the grace of Lord Ranganatha that your royal self is not in peril as yet. So desist from inviting it upon yourself.
So warned, the warrior was put under house arrest. But Nanjarajaya himself became a victim of the cruel hand of fate. He was instrumental, unwittingly, in letting into the Mysuru province a young man called Haidar. It was at that moment that history took a turn. In 1766, Haidar Ali took hold of the Mysuru administration and established absolute control. He ruled in the name of the warrior. He defeated the British and expanded the Mysuru kingdom over 80,000 square miles. On Haidar's death, his son Tipu took over the administration in 1782. Proclaiming himself the Sultan of Mysuru, he ruled for 17 years. He fought the British, and in the Fourth Anglo-Mysuru War, he was killed in battle. The 4th of May, 1799, was the day the glory of my beloved island was snuffed out forever. The capital was shifted, this time from Srirangapatna to Mysuru. Thence my tiny island and I became past glory.
The British installed a minor, little Krishnaraja Vadiyar III, as the new ruler. Diwan Purnaya was to oversee the new administration. The Wadiyars were back in Mysuru. In 1800, on this very site was built a palace in wood, suitable for the residence of the king. It was a 5-storied structure with exquisite carvings of intricate design. Krishnaraja Wadiyar III was the epitome of the arts. He was a patron of poetry, music and literature. He himself wrote over 20 celebrated works. In his famous work, Sri Tattvanidhi, are descriptions of 35 ancient ragas. Krishnaraja Wadiyar III established the first English medium school in Mysuru, the Raja School. To him accrues the credit for starting the world-renowned Mysuru Dasara. Krishnaraja Wadiyar III was succeeded by Chamaraja Wadiyar X, who was the harbinger of modern Mysuru. He instituted the Representative Assembly of Mysuru State in 1881. The first democratic institution of its kind in the country. It was during his reign that the Kolar goldfields, the railroads of Mysuru-Bengaluru and Bengaluru-Tipturu and the Mysuru Zoo were established. Chamaraja Wadiyar X was fated to an untimely death in 1894. It was the year 1897. The wedding of Princess Jayalakshmamani. Higher and higher to consume the solid dry wood. The wooden palace turned into ashes. A few days later, the Queen of Mysuru, Maharani Kempananjammani, came to see the ruin accompanied by the British resident.
President Sahib, it is our wish that a grand palace be built at this very spot where the wooden palace stood. Among all palaces, it must shine like a jewel in the crown.
As your highness wishes, I will ask Henry Irwin to prepare a plan for the palace.
Henry Irwin? Who is this Henry Irwin?
A great architect from England. He built the Vice-Regal Lodge at Shimla.
Then send for him at once.
The master architect came to Mysuru. He stood here to take in the 72 acres of the site. The vision of a palace began to take shape in his mind. It was to be a grand structure, 245 feet long and 156 feet wide. The actual palace rose from the ground, slowly, surely. The construction of the palace, which began in 1897, saw completion in 1912. Today, people witness the history of Mysuru through this glorious palace. An elegant memory of modern Mysuru is that of Krishnaraja Wadiyar IV. He took Mysuru to its destiny of a model state, the founding of the Shimsha hydroelectric project at Shivanasamudram and the iron and steel works at Bhadravati, the founding of Mysuru University, Mysuru Bank, Kannada Parishad, the launch of the radio channel, Mysuru Akashawani, the Mysuru Arasikere Railroad and the adult education program, the establishment of libraries all over the princely state, the Miller Commission for the upliftment of backward classes, the Legislative Council for framing of laws, his roster of achievements grows long. Distinguished administrators like the Diwans, Sir Mokshagundam Vishweswaraya and Sir Mirza Ismail served the state during his regime.
Attention! His Royal Highness Savadhan!
Your Highness, Sri Vishweswaraya awaits your kind audience.
Vishweswaraya, please come. We are apprised of your skill.
Your Highness, if a dam were built across the Kaveri, thousands of acres of barren land would become most fertile. The lives of the poor would be flooded with wealth.
We do appreciate your genius. The scheme of such noble ambition will indeed have our ready support. Please proceed.
I am most grateful to your Highness.
It was during the reign of Krishnaraja Wadiyar IV that the dam was built. Behind the dam was built a splendid garden, Vrindavan. Even the hydroelectric power generation project at Shivanasamudra, the first in Asia, was completed during his tenure. Thus, the distinction of bringing electric power to the cities of Mysuru and Bengaluru goes to Krishnaraja Wadiyar IV. Mysuru was delighted. Sovereign Krishnaraja, light of every home. The name Krishnaraja became immortal in the history of Mysuru. Mahatma Gandhi called him Rajarishi, a sage among kings. The University of Banaras bestowed on him a doctorate of law. Eminent Kannada poet B.M. Shrikantaya wrote lyrics in his praise.
Mysuru, the land of gold. Mysuru, sanctum of the sandal. Mysuru, gloried by the veena. This Mysuru of Krishnaraja IV.
ನಾಲ್ಮಡಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣನ ಮೈಸೂರು ಬೆಳೆಯುವ ನಾಡದು ಮೈಸೂರು ಇಳೆಯ ಮಾದರಿ ಮೈಸೂರು ಕನ್ನಡಿಗನು ಸಿರದು ಮೈಸೂರು ನಾಲ್ಮಡಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣನ ಮೈಸೂರು.
After the passing of Krishnaraja Wadiyar IV, Jayachamaraja Wadiyar became the king of Mysuru. He was to be its last, ruling from 1940 till 1950, when India became a republic. During his tenure, the Sharavati hydroelectric project and the Bhadra project were envisaged. A philosopher, connoisseur, musicologist and statesman, he lived up to the Wadiyar glory. As a composer, his name is reckoned among stalwarts, with bhakti or devotion being the main theme of his compositions in Sanskrit. Famous musicians sing them at concerts even today.
Shri Mahaganapatim bhaje hum Shri Mahaganapatim bhaje hum Shri Mahaganapatim bhaje.
My praises to great Ganapati, son of Shiva, brother father of the six-faced Lord, to him who grants wishes and clears obstacles.
शिवात्मजं षण्मुखाग्रजं श्री महागणपतिं भजेऽहम्।
Jayachamaraja Wadiyar breathed his last on September 23rd, 1974. The royal dynasty is now past, but it has left behind this breathtaking palace and the undying legacy of fine taste it cultivated among the people. The royal tradition manifests itself every year in the great Dasara festivities. In today's Dasara, now observed as a people's festival, we carry Goddess Bhuvaneshwari, the deity of the land, in a grand procession. All of Mysuru rejoices in this festival of enlightenment. We cleanse ourselves in the holy Kaveri and fill our eyes with Mother Chamundi. We stand mute at the resplendent beauty of this lit palace. Mysuru glows iridescently in its many hues. Mysuru Dasara, our Dasara. It brings tradition alive year after year. This tradition will live forever. Welcome to Mysuru. Now, here, forever.
वैमानिक भूमार्चित कोमलक
ही तो फोटो लेना है भाई।